Hey guys, my name's Sebastian. I'm a 19-year-old distance runner and I plan to use this channel to document my running career because I think it would be fun. So, with that being said, enjoy. The pictures I am showing you right now are pictures from my high school running career, except for the last picture. That one is from this year and I graduated in 2023. I believe these pictures show how I progressed so far pretty well. My form has gotten better and my friends said my legs swung out when I ran, but they don't do that anymore, so that's a plus. However, we still have a lot of work to do, so let's get to it. The first race I have coming up is the Winter Warrior Half Marathon on January 4th. Now let's see how my training is going so far.
As you can see, so far my total mileage for the week is at 9.12. Not much, but it's something which is better than nothing. Alright, let's get into my first run of the week. So, in this run, I ran on Tuesday in the town of Webster. My goal for this run was to be an easy run. It felt like it, but as you'll see later, it was harder than I thought. For perspective, my heart rate on easy runs are normally in the 130, 140 range, sometimes a higher if it's hot out. I ran around a park which is mostly flat except for a little bump about a quarter of the way in. Usually my pace for easy run is around 10 minutes to 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Went a little faster than I would have liked for this one, but I didn't look at my watch at all. Yeah, so like I said, normally my pace for easy runs is in the 10 minute to 10 minute 30 range, but this run was a bit faster. Not by much though. For this run I went 3 miles, which at this park is about 3 laps. Since it was my first run back after about 3-4 months of running inconsistently, I felt all gangly and uncomposed, which was annoying because, as you can see, it caused my pace to be all over the place. Normally my cadence for my easy runs is around 155, which I tried my best to hit, but unfortunately it wasn't in the cards for this run as I was going at a cadence well below 155. Only on the third mile did I hit around 155. My legs felt all loose and it caused me to annoyingly run all over. So on the map, this section right here is where the actual mile marker is. It does make it easier doing an even 3 laps. As you can see, my mile splits were all over the mile, with my first mile coming in at 10:01 and my second at 9:48. But my third, while coming in at 9:56, did feel easier as I was warmed up from my first 2 miles. According to Strava, this was a harder effort than usual, which really isn't that hard to achieve since I haven't really run that much before this run. I came in at a whopping 58 relative effort, which I don't really think is all that high, but yeah, nice to see I'm working hard rather than hardly working. My heart rate was also a little high, being in the range of tempo for most of this run, which wasn't exactly my intention when I set out on this easy run. This run felt easy to me regarding my legs, but obviously it got my heart going a little fast for what was supposed to be an easy run. Oh well, on to day 2. Now, let's just see if I can figure out how to open my run. Okay, so this run was another easy 3-mile run that I ran from my house to the road and back. It was snowing hard outside, but I could still see, so it wasn't too bad. I also ended up racing a bus. Yeah, so 3 miles is like my go-to easy run mileage for a run, just because I believe that it's not too far for me and not too short. It's just right. Plus, I'm just getting back into it, so gotta ease into it. This run was fun for me, especially because it was snowing outside and I love the snow. It was snowing quite hard at parts of the run, so at times it felt like I was being pelted with snow, which I was. But anyways, this run was just over 31 minutes and the snow kind of forced me to go slow to keep my footing, which I'm not complaining about because it basically meant that I was forced to take it easy. Perhaps that's why it was an enjoyable run. This route that I took was basically all flat with a little bump in the road about a little after a mile in. Like I said, this was an out and back effort, so I liked that aspect of it too. And here you can see that I sped up a lot at about 3 minutes in. That was when I raced the bus. I raced it to see who'll turn down the road first. I won that race too. Granted, the bus was stopped at a bus stop for a little bit, but we'll just skip over that part. And the rest of the run was pretty much even paced, or so I thought. In all actuality, I actually gradually slowed down a bit, but like I said, the snow forced me to take it slow and easy. Plus, the last mile was when I was getting absolutely pelted by the snow. So my cadence was below average for me yet again, which I'm not too excited to see, but it's good that I'm maintaining around the same cadence for 3 miles even if it was below average for me. My heart rate was also higher than I would have liked for this run, considering my pace got slower with each mile. Whether it was because I was very excited about the snow or my body was getting taxed more than I thought, I don't know, but it'll get lower as I do more runs. And then my relative effort according to Strava was a 59, which is around the same as my first run, but it is a point higher, so take that into consideration. I mean, I'm not, because it felt easier and more smooth than my first run, and that's what matters. These are also my first runs back, so also take that into consideration. Again, my heart rate was in the tempo range for almost all of this run, which is not the best, but like I said, my heart rate will get lowered and back to normal the more runs I do. I also don't know how accurate Strava is with the heart rate data, so yeah. Alright, on to day 3. So this run I especially liked because it felt truly easy. I wasn't breathing hard, and I actually felt like my legs were under me on this run, and not all over the place. I ran this run at the park in Webster again, which is going to become a staple running destination of mine because that's where I work. And I also got a PR on the North Ponds Mile, which isn't that substantial because it's from an easy run, but hey, a PR is a PR. Like I said, this is a flat course, so it didn't really affect my pace too much, which you're able to see because my pace per mile went down with each mile I ran. Like I said, my pace gradually went down, and you can see that in further detail here. I still would like MY pace to become more even instead of up and down. Even as my pace gradually went down, I kept it under control and didn't try to speed up. It all happened naturally as I was going by feel. What I'm really excited about, though, is that my cadence decided to finally get back to its original average, which is around 155. This run, I really tried to listen to my footsteps and keep the same cadence, which is evident as all 3 miles. I hit 154 for my cadence. My heart rate also got back to normal for this run, as my heart rate stayed around 135 even as my pace went down. Exactly what you want for an easy run. Consistency. I guess muscle memory isn't easily lost. You can also see that even according to Strava, this run was easy as my relative came in at a whopping 14, which if you haven't picked up on is way less than my other 2 easy runs. It's really not surprising though, as it will take a hot minute for Strava to get me accurate relative heart rate data since I'm just beginning to run again. Good things are coming as long as I stay consistent. This was an easy run after all, and my heart rate, as I said earlier, stayed in the moderate range, which is better than my previous runs, which were both in the tempo range. Well, on to day 4. I ran this run on Sunday, which is my last run of the week. I felt good on this one, but definitely not as good as my run the other day. So for this one, I again ran an easy 3 miles. At this point, it's all about building my cardiovascular strength back to where it once was. The total time for this one was just under 30 minutes, which is very similar to my runs earlier in the week. Probably because I ran the same amount of miles for every run. But anyways, my route for this one was the out and back route. All my miles for this one were around the same times, which I'm happy about, but on the 3rd mile I got kind of tight in my shoulders. Now as you can see, my pace for this run stayed pretty much the same, as it doesn't go up and down like some of my other runs. Towards the end though, you can see that I do start slowing down around the 2 mile mark because of the tightness in my shoulders. And that happens sometimes when my shoulders just get really tight. I told myself to relax, and I mean, it didn't get rid of the tightness completely, but it did allow the tightness to subside enough to finish the run with minimal discomfort. As you can see here, my cadence was less than optimal for me, as I was running around 150 for all 3 miles. Still, at least I stayed consistent. The good thing is that my heart rate also managed to stay in check and be moderately low for me. My miles were also around the same time, except for the 3rd one where my shoulders got tight. Still, I didn't slow down too much and kept the run easy. Now Strava says my relative effort for this run was a 39, which isn't very high for me compared to my other runs when it was 59, so it looks like I kept this run easy, which was the goal, so good job me. Of course, until I get more runs in, that really doesn't mean anything to me. Heart rate wise, it was split between moderate and tempo, with the majority of the time staying in the moderate range. This was, of course, the goal, as this run was an easy run. Now, let's see what my total mileage for the week was. It was a whopping 12.12 miles. I know it isn't a lot. I plan to build over the upcoming weeks. Remember, anyone can run. See ya.